Hey everybody, welcome into this week's episode of Tony's Spot on Fishing, the Top 5. I'm your host, Tony Krizek, and today we're in the dog days of summer, there's no doubt. So what better time than to talk about open water bass fishing, open water power fishing, how you can catch more deep water bass. First thing we want to talk about is a bait that's pretty synonymous with springtime, even the fall. And it's a red-eye shad. Now you may be thinking, wow, Tone, really a lipless crankbait? But yeah, we'll run that full 3/4 ounce size. We can snap jig it, yo-yo it, stop and go retrieves, straight retrieves, count it down. We can really work a lot of levels of the water column with that bigger version of it and do so many things. It's a very versatile bait and definitely a great one to have with you when you're targeting open water fish like that, especially where you're watching them on the graph and you can really pinpoint where they're at in the water column. As much as I say top water is my favorite bass bait, it seems I always have to talk about a spinnerbait before I talk about a top water. And it's no different even in the open water scenarios. We'll run a big 3/4 ounce to a 1 ounce size spinnerbait. We can slow roll it. We can drop it down ledges, basically let it helicopter down and make one big arc. Throw it out, let it sit, let it fall on a tight line, bring it right back. Slow rolling a spinnerbait. Great for ledges, open water scenarios as well. And again, braided line for those spinnerbaits. It's one of the few times on a moving bait you're gonna hear me talk about braid next to a frog. Coming up next from Strike King, the 6XD. Now this is a good, tight, wobbling crankbait, dives down very quickly. You can get it 15 to 18, 20 feet even, depending on how long you can throw, what type of line you're using. Now I would recommend going with either P-Line CX, which is a fluorocarbon coated mono, or even just going to a straight fluorocarbon to help get the maximum depth out of that bait. Excellent for when you're fishing deep water points or even deep rake lines, just suspended fish. The Normandie D22. Boy, oh boy, if you like a workout, this is the crankbait for you. It is a hard thumping, loud, noisy, you name it, this bait can do it, and it gets down quick. It is big and bulky, and you definitely need to up your game as far as the rods you throw it on. Definitely go into like what I run, the 711 Duckett series, medium heavy cranking rod, to where you can throw that bait a long distance, get the maximum depth out of it, also have the backbone to retrieve it. Slower gear ratioed reels, 5.3 to 1s will definitely help achieve the max depth out of those baits. Even if you can find some of the old school 4.7 to 1s, those are the best for deep cranking. And of course, my all-time favorite open water fish to find deep water bass, it's from Bomber, the fat-free shad. Big one knocker rattle to it, Coffin Bill Lip. If you are on any kind of rock structure, be it break lines, rock points, whatever, it'll deflect off very nicely. You don't have to worry about that bait hanging up. Great hookup ratio on that bait, dives down very quickly. And again, it's a big bodied crankbait. It's gonna take some muscles working it, but with the proper gear, you can fish it effectively and it'll catch you a ton of open water bass. We invite you, as always, ladies and gentlemen, to visit our Amazon store through the Amazon links in the video description below. By buying any of the products that you see there, you help support Tony's Spot on Fishing and keep bringing these great episodes to you every week. But what are some of your favorite open water power bait styles? Power bait, of course, meaning, or power fishing styles rather, cranks, anything that's a moving bait. You know, if you're in an open water situation, deep break lines, points, whatever, suspended fish, what are your hot baits in the summertime? What are you throwing for those open water fish? Let us know in the comments below. We always love hearing from everybody. That's it for this week's Top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my name is Tony Krizek. We'll see you next time on Tony's Spot on Fishing.